It is me, TC, your host, founder, originator of the Minnesota Black Road Regiment podcast, MBRR, as some of you have come to affectionately refer to it, because I've now learned that that's the thing. We name our channels, and then we abbreviate them, because everything has to have an abbreviation these days. CIA, FBI, the BATF. Just why are all the fun things all rolled into one agency, by the way? Why is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms get to be all one thing? Kind of irritates me. But hey, Veterans Affairs Media, thanks for stopping by. Hope you will find today's Drive Time Dialectic informative, infuriate. I can't even speak. I hope it makes you angry, gets you fired up. I hope you're infuriated. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Hey, Flying Otter, thanks for stopping in. There's somebody else I need to add. There we go. So many of you know. Well, first of all, this is my channel. I founded it. I'm primarily a commentator. I'm a wannabe philosopher. My philosophy is paleo-libertarian, paleo-conservative. I'm an absolutist when it comes to natural rights. I'm an absolutist when it comes to, how do you want to say, small government, as in the smaller the state, the least amount of state we have, the better off we all are. Hey, AVA, thanks for watching my background story about the end of my career. I really appreciate you doing that. It's a heck out of having to tell the story over and over and over again. I'll tell you that. But so here I am. I am all of these things. Like I said, I'm a wannabe philosopher. But a lot of what took place in my life has made me very aware of just how badly it is needed to do commentary on the nature and the track that law enforcement as a career field is on, which is why I have been drawn to telling a lot of stories. In particular, many of you are aware of the story of Nathan and Samantha down in Bellevue, Nebraska, and you know that I did have them on and interviewed them. It was a great show. I was humbled that Nathan included me in his proposal to Samantha live on stream, and she said yes. That might have made for better viewership for TC if she said no, but I'm glad she didn't. It was a great show, and if you haven't checked out their story, please do so. But I've also been tracking a story of a young man named Chase Johnston. His channel is The Hard Road TV. I did a pretty irate video last week talking about the fact that a local news station got data practice requests back from the police department demonstrating that they did indeed have the information that they needed to investigate and stop a sexual predator of less than 18-year-old girls who was named, or is named, Deputy Matt Adamson. He was a deputy for the agency that I once worked for. And Deputy Matt Adamson worked for the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office. So both the Rochester, Minnesota Police Department and the Rochester and the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office were aware for nearly 2 years, that Adamson was victimizing underage girls. exchanging sex for alcohol, or at least trying. And Chase caught him, and under my advice and my counsel, took copies of all his evidence and everything that he had and gave it to the Rochester Police Department, and they did nothing with it and allowed Adamson to go on quite literally unmolested. Unmolested, like literally, and I don't use that term ironically. And so here we sit. Chase is now facing criminal charges for busting another predator who went unarrested by the Rochester Police Department, in particular a sergeant named Ben Schlegg, who had an ethics violation filed against him years ago and owned up to the to his credit. Once they dealt with him, they suspended him for 10 days without pay, and so he, of his own volition, took training. And I think sometimes we can go way too far with this stuff. Like, people can be completely offended by everything, and cancel culture is a real thing. Trust me, I'm well aware, because my career was canceled by the culture. But this Ben Schlegg gets promoted to sergeant and ends up arresting Chase and lets a sexual predator go. Indisputable, that's what happened. The video demonstrates it. And as well, my interview with Chase from last November, when the story broke that they accidentally caught Deputy Matt Adamson of the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office in a sting, accidentally. I sat down with Chase and I interviewed him, and that's where he told the whole story about catching Adamson, but also catching this other sexual predator, and also the fact that they let both of them go. They did nothing with it. Sergeant Ben Schlegg arrests Chase. I'm rehashing all this because there are going to be people who are going to watch who haven't heard all of these things. And if one of my moderators would go and find my video with interviewing Chase, I'd love for you guys to put that in there so other people can go and watch. But what we're dealing with now is an agency that not only did they let a blue line buddy of theirs go unchecked for nearly 2 years, molesting children, taking surreptitious video of women around the city of Rochester and female detainees under his care in various stages of undress, producing CP, they charge Chase, and they go after Chase. And the Olmsted County Attorney, Mark Ostrom, an elected position, chooses to turn on Chase. We've hashed out all of this. The entire system is stacked up against Chase and seems to be favoring predators. I don't know how else to say that. And so today, the Rochester, Minnesota Police Department, and this is going to sound petty. I know that some of you are going to say, gosh, TC, you're being so petty. But so today, the Rochester, Minnesota Police Department puts a bulletin out on their Facebook page. And if you don't believe me, it's there. They put this bulletin out on Facebook announcing that at approximately 7 a.m. this morning, Rochester police received a call about an individual who was exposing his genitalia in a public skyway, public staircase area, in an area. Once again, we're going to what we deal with, people. So I'm just going to this out, find the membership tab, join my membership level at one of my membership levels. I'd love to have you in if you aren't. You know, if you have a question or a comment that you want to say, throw a super chat my way. It'll be easier for me to see. If you appreciate my work, you know, shoot me a super thank you or a super chat or a super sticker, something like that. If you appreciate what I do, because I appreciate all of you guys, I really do. A lot more people have been tuning in live and saying more, commenting more, and sharing my content a lot more, and I really appreciate it, because like I've said so many times, I know I'm not an auditor channel the way guys like Flex, and even the way Angry Vet and Flying Auditor and what a Veterans Affairs Media has become. I don't do that kind of stuff on a regular basis. As the opportunity presents itself, I certainly take advantage of it. This is kind of what I do, is I tell these stories, I talk about them philosophically, I talk about the ramifications of them. So anyway, Rochester Police shows up on scene in Rochester, Minnesota. Is this sexual deviant, not making this up, this is their report. They find the sexual deviant with his pants around his ankles, fondling himself. Now, put a 1 in the chat if you think that he was taken into custody, arrested, turned over to the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office Detention Center staff to be put in front of a judge and arraigned as soon as possible. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he was arrested. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that nothing happened and they just let him go altogether. And put a 3 in the chat if you think he was ticketed on scene for a misdemeanor and then escorted off the property. Because I know what I would have wanted to have happen in this situation, because what we're dealing with, law enforcement, hey Lou, thanks for stopping in. Law enforcement has emblazoned on all of their vehicles, on the side of their cars, they have stated, protected serve, right? Protected serve, people. Law enforcement brag about protected serve. We are here to protect and serve. That's what we do. Protect and serve, or serve and protect. Some variation thereof, right? Who does society, and trust me, I'm over the asinine things that cops will arrest you for. We see it happening all the time. The Angry Vet, Tav, has been arrested for stupid garbage. Flex has been arrested for stupid garbage. Sean from Long Island Audits has been stupid garbage. We're seeing more and more auditors just getting arrested over stupid things, right? So we hear so much about protect and serve constantly. What did the Rochester Police Department do this morning at 7 a.m. when they were called out for a sexual deviant exposing himself and fondling himself in public, in front of people? Did they protect and serve? Because in the state of Minnesota, they got him for indecent exposure. At the very least. At the very freaking least, it should be a gross misdemeanor. And in Minnesota, it is a gross misdemeanor if you've been doing this more than once, or if there's are children that, under the age of 16 present and witnessed. It rises to a felony with the more conviction, and then with more aggressive you get with it. But you can be arrested for a misdemeanor charge. The police have the discretion to arrest you for a misdemeanor charge. Rochester Police Department. Most of you, I saw all threes from what I could tell. Because I'm not distracted driving, by the way. Rochester Police Department shows up on scene, identifies the individual, 24-year-old male, writes him a ticket and escorts him off the property. Yeah, right. Roger, you're right. I don't care what anybody's opinion on chili is. He got a raw deal. Hey, El Caro, man, I haven't seen you in for freaking ever. How are you doing? And police have the discretion to not arrest you for a felony charge. That's true as well. But here you have a man who's clearly a sexual predator. No one, I don't care if you chalk it up to a mental illness. I don't care if you chalk it up to some sort of drug-induced psychosis. I don't care how you try to explain it away. This man is clearly dangerous. And the Rochester, Minnesota Police Department comes on scene. Okay, bad choice of words there, TC. Yeah, I did that. It was not intentional. It was funny. The Rochester, Minnesota Police Department shows up on scene and catches him in the act. And as a friend of mine said on their Facebook status, they probably just said, "Move along, folks, nothing to see here." But I don't know what to tell you other than I'm so mad right now. I don't know if I can not laugh, because this man is a predator. This is escalatory behavior. He will not stop behaving this way if he's not stopped, if he's not gotten help. And I don't know that there's help for sexual predators, quite honestly. I know that, in Minecraft, a lot of people talk about wood chippers. In Minecraft, of course. Putting people in Minecraft in a Minecraft wood chipper. I completely understand that mindset. I can pretty much get behind it. But the man is a predator, and he's going to prey on other people. And a ticket is not going to produce the desired deterrent effect that is needed to stop this person from track record of not protecting and serving the most vulnerable people in our midst, and that is minor children. How would you feel if you're the woman walking through that corridor, through the skyway, through the stairwell, going with your child for whatever reason, because this area is the home of the Mayo Clinic and these people travel here with their children all the time, and they walk to and from their hotels to get to their appointments at the Mayo Clinic with their children? How would you feel if you walked by with your child and your child saw that? Now you have to explain that, and now you find out that the law enforcement agency in the city of Rochester, Minnesota, tasked with protecting and serving the community, keeping people safe as they travel to and from their medical appointments at the Mayo freaking Clinic, and their child sees that, and you find out that the cops gave him a ticket and told him, "No more, don't do that again, show up for court." How would you feel about that? Yeah, sorry about that, guys. How, if you are that person, if you're that person, and how do you respond to this? What do the people of Rochester and Olmsted County, quite frankly, what do the people of the United States need to do with agencies like this? What needs to happen with agencies like this? What needs to freaking happen with these agencies? Chase Johnson, yes, he has a criminal record. He will tell you he went to prison for felonies. Not going to argue that point. He made some really bad life choices, and he's trying to get his life together. Now he's facing felony charges again for turning in a predator. Turns in a deputy. They do nothing with it. RPD does nothing with it. He turns in another predator. RPD does nothing with it. Arrests Chase, charges him with felony stalking. He didn't stalk anybody. This predator sought him out. So they charge him with felony stalking. The county attorney, Mark Ostrom, continues to charge him with a goddamn crime. Pushes this, wants to lock him up. He wants to make an example of him. Wants to make an example of him. The sheriff's office did nothing about Deputy Matt Adamson. Sheriff Kevin Torgerson, who is the most schmucky of schmucks, who is the most dirty of all dirtball, sleazeball cops I've ever known in my life, Torgerson still has not owned up to the reality that he knew about Adamson. He let the man go for almost 2 years, victimizing people in his own detention center. And now RPD takes a guy who's probably mentally ill, turns him back out onto the street today after he was playing with himself in a public walkway in front of people on their way to medical appointments and to and from work. In a high traffic area, this place is packed with people. There's no way in the world that I believe there were not children present. We need to bring pressure to the Rochester, Minnesota Police Department and start asking them what in the blue freaking blazes is going on. They had the discretion to arrest this man and they chose to let him go. And I will err on the side of humanity and say this guy probably has some sort of psychosis or mental health issue. I'm not going to argue that he doesn't. I firmly believe that this person, this individual, this 24-year-old male, probably has some mental health issues. Almost certainly has some mental health issues to do that in public. But what we know about these people is it continues. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. And it gets worse. And they have to start doing more and more and more severe things to get the sexual high off of it that they want. This is how serial killers are created. And we've learned in time, if law enforcement fails at its job, you end up with a Jeffrey Dahmer. What is it going to take for the protect and serve, back the blue, thin blue line, Rochester, Minnesota Police Department to finally freaking do something about sexual predators? Actually do something about them. I need your guys' help to get this to go bigger than just Rochester. Because so far, everybody's making a freaking joke out of it. There are a few people asking questions, but they're already deleting comments. Somebody will say something, defend the cops and say, well, it's just a misdemeanor. You can just cite them and let them go. So I'll go. They have a track record of this, and the comment disappears. And folks, I just don't have the money. I barely pay my bills the way it is. I don't have the money to go find an attorney to take this stuff on. I just don't have the money for that. because I know, like most of you don't have the money. So we need pressure, we need attention, we need civil people addressing this civilly, but expressing their anger and expressing their frustration, going and telling these guys, you've got to do something. Somebody, can you start with an apology for letting Adamson go? Can you start by dropping the charges on Chase? Can you start by apologizing for letting the predator go that got Chase arrested? Can you do that? Can you do that? That'd be great. What about, can you, now that you know who the guy is, let's issue a warrant for his arrest? Because we are, now that we think about it in hindsight, a little concerned that he might be a danger to society, and we are here to protect and serve, goddammit. That's what's on the side of our cars. That's what we tell people. We're here to protect and serve. We're here to help. Could you help? That'd be nice. Could you get a fucking predator off the street before he predates somebody else? What's it gonna take? Does he have to kill somebody? Does he have to kidnap and torture and kill a child? Is that what it's gonna take? Does it have to be one of your kids? God forbid. God forbid it's one of your children. You know, Mick, you ask a great question. I don't know. Like, I understand. I'm a target now. I am a target. You guys need to understand this. A person who I once was friends with came at me yesterday telling me I'm the problem. And this individual is linked to the law enforcement world. Very publicly came out and said, I'm a hater, that I have a problem, that my heart is filled with hatred for cops. It's not. I don't hate cops individually. I hate what's becoming of law enforcement, what has become of law enforcement. Yes, I hate what has become of it. And this kind of garbage does not help. This should make everybody angry. And then, just the story alone, when you couple it with what they did to Chase, with how they ignored Chase, with how they arrested Chase. Elva Carroll, you're right. That's why I try to really not use too many inflammatory certain types of words. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. What are we gonna do? Come on, people of the United States. Like, we can rally behind a president, right? We can rally, like, whoever you might, like, out of Biden, Trump, whoever it might be. We can all get out there and get behind that person, and we can put signs in our yards for somebody that ultimately really has no impact over our lives. But God damn it, I hear something like this about cops and it infuriates me, but I'm a little worried. And I'm not talking about you, Mick. I'm talking about a lot of the people commenting. Or they laugh. They react. They think it's funny. Folks, this shit's not funny. Like, they're still out there busting people for drugs. They're still out there busting people for not wearing seatbelts when they're driving. They're out there busting people for driving distracted. They're out there pulling people over and arresting them on parking ticket warrants. Like, in my town, they'll charge you $150 to mow your yard. If it takes longer than an hour, they'll charge you another $125 on top of the $150. We could do all of that. We could do all of that. But a guy exposes himself. And the one job that we should trust the cops to do. The one job we should trust the cops to do. And they can't get it done. Cops in Bellevue, Nebraska can arrest Samantha in her own driveway for trying to help her autistic teenage son into the house where he can feel safe while a traffic stop is taking place on their private property. cops can arrest Flex down in Waterloo, and cops can arrest Tav in Baltimore, and on and on and on and on and on. We could fight the war on drugs. We could fight the war on poverty. We could fight corruption and individuals. We can go after people for all sorts of silly crap on their own property. But the guy goes out and he does what I just described at 7 o'clock in the morning in a high traffic time. And he gets a ticket, he gets cited and released. Because I'm going to believe that this guy's going to show up for court. He's just magically going to go, oh crap, I got caught. It's going to stop now. I have to do, I need to get my life together. What's wrong with me? No. He's not going to stop. He won't stop. He's going to victimize somebody. Or somebody's going to get hurt. Or somebody's going to hurt him because they're going to catch him and they're not going to respond the way they should. And quite frankly, maybe they do respond the way they should in that situation. And I am a non-aggression principle person. I do not believe in initiating aggression towards anyone. But aggression in response to someone else being aggressed or you being aggressed is perfectly justified. And that's what's coming. This is calculated chaos, folks. I don't know how else to say it. They have to know that what they're doing is hurting people. People were victimized today. And I don't care if you think it's funny. If you're an adult and you're like, if you can't see a penis and you can't get over it, too bad, so sad. Not the point. The man violated other people's sanctity. The man violated other people's peace. The man did a form of violence to people, even if he didn't touch them, and he should be paying the consequences for it. He should at the very least been taken to the detention center, booked in, and held to see a judge tomorrow morning, where the judge could then determine whether or not he was a flight risk, where the judge could determine whether or not he should be out on bond, or whether he should be held over for court. That's what should have happened, because the officers had the discretion to do that, and they chose to let him go. And I pray to God this man, this 24-year-old, doesn't hurt somebody. I pray to God he doesn't hurt somebody. But if that's going to wake somebody up, and you would think that the Deputy Matt Adamson case would wake people up. Nope, that hasn't done it. People are still wandering around going, I don't know anything about this. What are you talking about? They would never do that. You mean you got caught by somebody else and the police knew about it and they didn't do anything? Oh, I don't believe that. Show them the video. No, you're just being hypersensitive. You just don't like cops. You're just a hater. Here's the video. Here's a newspaper article. Here's a news report on a news station showing that they admitted they knew and didn't do anything. Well, you don't understand the full circumstances. I don't care anymore. Folks, we need to make this go out. This needs to be well known. We need people to go and contact the Rochester Police Department and demand that Chief Franklin start to answer some really hard questions. We need the city council and the mayor to start hearing from people. This stuff has got to stop. It's got to stop. Forget the war on drugs. Like, if an adult wants to use drugs and ruin their life, fine. They shouldn't get any social welfare benefits either. Can we get the cops to focus on, maybe if we got to fill up our jails with people, could we put violent sexual offenders away? That would be wonderful. I'm going to finish this up so I can pull into my garage, and I got really bad shin splints because I went out and got on pavement for the first time in several months instead of being on the treadmill. Had a great time on Monday out on pavement. It was a beautiful night, worked up a great sweat, turned in some really good splits on my distance, but my shins are hurting a little bit and I need them to rest. So I'm going to take a night off. I'm just going to enjoy myself. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I know that a lot of you are hearing this. Some of you who are watching may not be fans and are going, "You're way overreacting." I don't think I am. The totality of the evidence shows that they just don't treat sexual offenders with any amount of severity. They just don't. They just don't. We the people have got to do something, and I can't trust we the people in my area to be the help I need to get this story out. I need you guys in this community, in my group, my members, my fans, my friends, my viewers, even my hate watchers and my FBI agents that are watching me in the BCA, Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension people. I need you guys to help me, because I feel so goddamn alone sometimes. Like, I know I seem emotional, but I'm so overwhelmed with this sometimes. It's so overwhelming. I can talk and 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 I can think I'm having an impact. When one person goes, "Thank you," like Mick just did, "Thank you," that's like, but I need help. I need people to show up at their Facebook page and on Twitter, and I need people to email the chief and to email their professional standards people. I need people to be reaching out. I will try and get the contact information in the description of the video, and I will try and put a link to their Facebook page in the description of the video. But this shit, folks, this shit's got to stop. Like, what's it gonna take? What's it gonna take? When are people, like normie cons and con right and the left? I mean, all these people, like, they're all in on it together. They all adore the cops. They say they don't on the left, but they all adore the cops. And you can't get them to recognize when they're screwing up and they're doing stuff like this, and they turn on me. Like, it's kind of a cool thing. Honestly, I could get the left and the con right and the normie cons all hate me. I can handle that hate. What I can't handle is the feeling of the overwhelming burden of being alone in this. And I didn't want to open up Facebook today and see that this happened. And once again, the cops had the discretion. They could have taken a minute and said, we might have a problem here. Let's might be overreacting, but let's get this guy off the street and into a jail cell for the night. See a judge tomorrow and let other people sort this out. That's what we need. Nope. Hey, here's a citation. Show up for court. Don't do it again, naughty boy. And I do not want to find out that he's doing it again, or that the next time it's a little girl, or a little boy, or some nurse on her way to work, or somebody disappears. I have lost so much since 2020. And in the 3 years since the end of my career, almost 3 years since the end of my career, I've lost friends. I have family members that despise me because they think I've turned on them. And that's why I appreciate every single one of you so much. But I need people's help. I cannot do this alone. So please share this out. Let's make these people famous. So I'm going to go try and enjoy some downtime tonight. And I really literally appreciate every single one of you watching. And so until next time, which at this rate will probably be tomorrow, right? Like the way that's going. And no, I'm not feeling suicidal by any stretch of the imagination. and I have no plans on disappearing. Not going anywhere unannounced. Um, until next time, my friends, fight for your freedom, it is yours. Fight for your liberty, it belongs to you. And sic semper tyrannis. I love you guys.